So then it's nice to see that it's well received, that people understood it. I think the messages was clear here and then. There was a little bit of trouble, of course, with the sound and with the internet, but I think that, you know, in the end, that all worked well. I think the messages were very clear. It was good. I picked it up. Other people picked it up. And also in the last session on Friday, you know, I was chatting with a few people, and, you know, this was all good and this was all clear. So I think it was really worthwhile, all the effort that all these people put into it, many of them on this call right now. So well done, excellent job.
Thank you, thank you. And I would like to, well, thank you, Bet, for all of the support that you've given, which brought us to where we are now, really. And also, I would really like to thank Dr. Sakinath and Dr. Reginald, who did a stellar job in putting things together at the time when we were having so many unexpected challenges, and we had to improvise. I don't know whether that was noticeable, but we had some very serious personal issues among quite a number of people, and Dr. Sakinath and Dr. Reginald just stepped in, and I think it went seamless. So grateful for you, and then also all the other leads. Mariam did a good job. Putu, of course, and also Morgan, who did really excellent sessions. And then Francesca, who should have been resting, but of course never rests, and gave excellent presentations where she was required also. And I also would like to thank the participation. What was nice, and it made me think about how we manage these VODAN seminars here, is during the seminars I heard from people who are regularly here on the VODAN call, who had so much to say. And then I thought, oh, and often in the VODAN webinar, we have not so much discussion amongst ourselves, where I actually felt that there is a lot more to contribute. So I don't know, I think as we go towards the new year, we'll reflect a little bit, and also would really like to have your input in how we can do that in such a way that we have that rich discussion that I definitely felt was the case in the seminars last week. And I was really grateful to hear all of those reflections. So I just really encourage you to open the mic and speak. We want to have here this kind of interaction with all of us, and please, yeah, really feel free to contribute. Is there anyone else who'd like to make at this point any comments on the conferences last week before we go into the purpose of the meeting this week? No? Yeah, I was thinking you would say something.
Well, just to thank everybody. I think we have grown as VODAN Africa, following how we started in March up to now, and then seeing the contribution in the conference was very impressive. And just to thank everybody that we keep going and coming up with positive results as we go towards the articles. Maybe the final word was just the closing ceremony, where people are so impressed that they did not know how to call this group. So one person said, we'd like to thank the company of Professor Miriam Van Reesy for excellent work. So the company.
I missed that. Oh, that is nice to hear that. That is very good. I also heard from Feng Hong that there was a very good conference session over the weekend, and that she had also represented VODAN Africa and Asia. So that is also excellent, excellent news. So that gives us a lot of encouragement. For today, Dr. Sakinat will lead the session, although she has also another place where she needs to be. So then we'll also take it over from her. I also understood that the session of CEDAR yesterday was very, very good and productive. I heard from Mariam, but don't know whether Aliyah or Mariam would like to give some feedback on that session. Now, you could do that now, maybe.
Mariam, would you like to add from your side something, or? All right, then I can do it. So yes, yeah.
Okay.
So actually, yesterday there was presented another option of CEDAR localization, which is a virtual box. And so at this point, CEDAR presented us 3 options. So it's like the first one is developer installation mode, and the second one is the Docker installation, and the last one is the which was presented yesterday, the virtual box. So, and CEDAR is still having they are trying to run their CEDAR with the FDP. So they are still communicating with the developers of FDP, and I guess they will give us an update on that within a month, because the next meeting with CEDAR will be on the 1st of January. So it's the next year. So, but before that, they will give an update how the things are going on the like the CEDAR and with the FDP. So if they can actually run the software, and then we can deploy it using those 3 options that CEDAR provided us. So actually, there is the summary from yesterday's meeting. Mariam, would you like to add anything from your side?
Yeah, so I'll go through the 3 options that we have. The first one is the Docker approach of installing CEDAR. This is currently available for evaluation purposes for local deployment, but only for Mac, and production deployment for Linux. But the actual Docker installation is not yet ready to install, but I believe this will most likely be the best option, because we're all very familiar with Docker, and we know how it works. And even because we know that all the required files are embedded, and however much the updating is not straightforward, we can always find a way of approaching it. And then the second option was the CEDAR embeddable editor, the one Aliyah just talked about. Currently, it's named as the CEDAR Lite, and it actually requires developer knowledge. So you basically have to create templates, maybe from CEDAR, and then copy the code from CEDAR into the embeddable editor. So it actually requires some deeper knowledge. And then, so the third option was the virtual machine, VirtualBox. This one runs on the desktop, and it supports all operating systems. And well, apparently it's so far the easiest approach of installing CEDAR, but it requires networking configuration knowledge. Otherwise, it's very easy to lose all the data during updates So we shall do, well, the selection of which one to use based on the technical capabilities available within the different facilities in the different countries, because they'll have to use these tools. And yeah, so that was basically it.
I think this is really very, very excellent news, because it sounds to me that it means that with the DS Wizard and with this flexibility that is coming from the CEDAR application, we now start to have a very good strategy for data production, and that this makes us ready towards the new year to really start to reflect on how we can install this within the different clinics and so on, and start looking at all the work that needs to be done around the deployment, but that some of the technical issues are being solved. But I suppose that one of the things that remains and that needs further conversations with the DS Wizard and CEDAR is that we need to look at the convergence between the FDP production and CEDAR. Is that right?
Miriam, so
Yeah.
we are all already trying to converge. So CEDAR is, I think, is working towards convergence with FDP. So it's a matter of time, and that they are already working on it. So, and probably we will hear about that in a month, within a month, or more or less.
That's also very, very good news. And I bet, is this also your understanding? Does this correspond with how you are seeing it from your end?
Yes, and I will keep an eye on it also to make sure that that next steps are actually made. I've understood also that they're in contact with each other to see how they can link these things up. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if I understand exactly what technically needs to happen, but I understand that these technical guys are comfortable that they can actually merge this or weave this into each other. So I will keep an eye on it. I am in contact on a regular basis, both with the Codefense team in the Czech, and with the Mark Musen team at CEDAR. So that should work. And if I hear something that is interesting, then I will let you all know.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that I'd understood from the discussion so far that the technical teams also realized that it was their responsibility to make sure that this convergence is there. And that is really very good, because that means that from this end, we don't need to we need to understand it, and we need to be able to assist in the technicalities of it, but the responsibility is very much then on that end where these solutions originate from, which, yeah, that facilitates things a whole lot. So that's great.
Yeah.
So that's very good, and it means that really we will be with the coordinators team, and maybe Francesca will speak about this later in this call, but we need to really start to look at how we now go from solution to deployment within the team, and what objectives we're going to set and what the tasks are of everybody in this. So we'll be getting to that, but just to let you know that this is now really getting into the next phase where we wanted to have it, and that it means that we can really move away from proof of concept to deployment within a context where we can really respond to the context. And some of the work that we'll be needing to do is understand what is required in the context so that we can respond to that. So we will make that very much the logic of these webinars as we start to move forward. But for today, after the really successful webinars last week at the CoData Convergence Conference, I would like to turn our heads to the special issue, because the special issue is very, very important as well, because this is where we have the ability to document the process so far, and which is very much worthwhile documenting, because we've done a really outstanding job. And I think what we learned last week is that we are recognized for really having done an excellent job with all of our partners together, of course. So for whatever time is remaining, I would like to hand over to Sakinat, if that is possible, or if has Sakinat already moved to the next meeting. Sakinat, are you there? I think she has maybe moved, which then means that
I think she has left. Yes, she's the lead speaker at the other session, but we agreed that she's been working with Aliyah and Misha, so one of them will do the presentation on her behalf, then we'll all contribute when needed.
Oh, wonderful. So Aliyah, are you doing the PowerPoint then, or should I do that?
Well, I'll share the PowerPoint. So I have a question. So do we do one by one, like the per article, like the?
That's up to yeah, up to you. I think we need to be fast if we do it one by one. But what we basically wanted to do is an update on the articles. What we can also do, Aliyah, maybe that is better, is ask everyone to identify the articles that they are working on, because from the Google documents, I couldn't really see any work having been done. So I was trying to see with the editor when her assistance was needed, but I couldn't see the update. So we would like to know what the work is that is being done on the articles, and if that can also show in the Google Docs, or if you want to communicate that in another way, and so that we can also plan the support that there is from the editor to all of the authors, to make sure that we keep within the timelines that we have set for this special issue.
All right. So yeah, so in my presentation, I just made like the article one by one. So let me.
But can we ask, let's start, for instance, with Mariam, because I know she's done a lot of work. Mariam, can you begin by identifying the articles that you are working on, and just telling us a little bit about how that's going?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I'm working on the fair equivalency with the regulatory frameworks in Uganda.
Yeah.
And I'm almost actually done with this write-up, and I'll be submitting it into the Google Docs before end of this week. That's Article 6. And then I'm also working on Article 2, which is the proof of concept and horizons on deployment on the deployment of FAIR in the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm still working on this article as well, but hopefully, yeah, before end of this week too.
And on that one, you are working based on the poster presentation that you did with Marek, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'll be doing this paper with Marek as well. He accepted to do it, to be like a co-author. So, and then the third article, 24, possibilities to enhance digital health interoperability through FAIR. I'm almost done with this one as well. I'll be posting it into the Google Sheets before end of this week for a first review. And then the fourth article, which is Article 10, health information streams in clinics in the case of Uganda. I'm already done with this one. I'm just doing a few edits and then I'll add it to the Google Docs. And I'm also a co-author in some other 3 articles. Alia, would you be kind to share the general Google Sheet to the other articles? So, but yeah, and then I'll be co-authoring in the other articles where my name is indicated as well.
That is excellent. Mm-hmm.
Mariam, can't you see the screen now?
Yeah, I can see it. So let me see the first go up. Yes, so the first article, a co-author as well. And the fifth article, which is on fair implementation in geographies and domains, a co-author on that one as well. And oh yes, the beyond ECRF requirements for the implementation in regular health systems. We had a session on this, I think, during the symposium. So I'll most definitely contribute to this article. Then down.
I think there was 9. I saw 9 coming by. Our first author. Chapter 9, Article 9, Alia. Oh, that was 10 then. 10. Health information streams in clinics, the case of Uganda.
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Among the first ones, the first 4.
Yeah.
Since I'm the main author. So,
anything else, Alia, there for Mariam?
No, there is no any more article.
Okay, good. Well, Mariam, that sounds really, really good.
Sorry.
Yeah, Abdullahi.
Yes, so I think Mariam will also be co-author on our paper. We discussed that during the symposium. I note that we've not really had her name on the list of authors.
On 9, that is 9.
Yes, but then from our symposium, we did inform her and we were going forward with that. I think that will be Article 14, if Alia can point to that. Yes, so you can help update that, I think.
Okay.
Co-author in that, because a lot of the methodology is inspired from her work on equivalency scores.
That is wonderful. Then, Abdullahi, since you have the floor, why don't you also give the updates on those articles. And congratulations, Mariam, to that progress. Really looking forward to that. So I've noted 6, Article 2, 24, 10, and 16, and then with the additions of 9 and 14, which I think fit very well with the overall work that you're doing. So that is very good. Then Abdullahi, I'm moving to you.
Oh, okay, thank you, Professor. Although I'm not prepared for this presentation, will have taken us back a bit because I observed you weren't present at the symposium. But then
I was present, but maybe not at that one session.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yes, so I'll just speak on top of my head from what I can remember because I'm not with the slides now and with the paper. So far, we have been able to also consider about 11 policy documents. So the title of the work is verification of, sorry, where is it again?
Yeah, it is that one on the fair framework, yeah.
Yeah, so basically we are looking at how fear is represented in the policy documents.
Yes.
And along what Mariam is doing or has done around fair equivalency scores and fair equivalency tool. So we identified around 13 policy documents that have some data regulatory framework in them and see how they will be, they have so far reflected the FAIR principles. The next steps were to also consider to do an in-depth analysis of that. We've just been able to curate the list of the policy that will be relevant. We're also very hard at work to get the hard or soft copies of this policy because only then are we able to analyze them. And also, give some tentative results from that process. Yeah, so basically that is it. We've just identified the documents. We're going forward to do an in-depth analysis based on methodology from Mariam and one other author, I've forgotten now. And then we'll be hopefully get this done before the deadlines.
That is
Thank
very
you.
excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. Then who can I give the floor next? Perhaps Dr. Reginald?
Yes, I think I need to review the titles. The one I'm very sure of is number 16. And then there is also an article with the Phillips Foundation team. This one, number 26, I think is 26. Yes, there's a lot of progress on number 26. And then this last one, number 31, where we also presented during the conference that we just had. So we haven't converged since the conference, but we're hoping to converge this week and just review where we are. And then also just to add that sometimes the Google document disappears, so it's good always to update it. I don't know why, but it always disappears. So we have to keep updating and reminding us to access it. Thank you. That's what I would say, Professor.
You are saying that the documents disappear?
The Google document sometimes disappears from our systems. So So just go to be reminded. Like now, if I want to trace it, I can't trace it.
Dr. Reginald, can you clarify what was the article which disappeared?
So I think you showed it 16, and then there is 26. I think there's also 31. 10, 26, 31.
Alia,
Yes.
if it's possible, you could probably share the Google documents, maybe in the chats, so that people can have access to them. That one, and there's the other one with the singles of the articles.
The easiest is to share the whole folder. The whole folder. Yeah, this is it. And then, but I don't understand how it's possible that articles disappear. But I know that that was happening, and at some point, Misha was dealing with that as well. So if that happens, let us know so that Alia and Misha and Dr. Sakina look at what the problem is. But thanks for the update there, Dr. Reginald. So who next? Maybe Putu, do you want to update on your articles?
Yes, Professor Miriam. Actually, the fair equivalency with Satu Data Indonesia. Yeah, that's my article, and I work in this article, but I write it locally in my computer, so that's why I'm not putting it, still not putting it on the Google Docs, and maybe before I can finish this article before Monday. But for the second article, it is about the open data and fair data, the comparison of open data and fair data. Alia, can you scroll it to my article? Yeah, basically, I added three authors, three co-authors, and then last week we discussed it is Yilin and also Sarah Nodehi, because they want to contribute to my article, so that's why I put them to my article. And then last week we discussed about splitting the task, because based on your guidance we need to split the task if the article had have more than one author. So right now I will write as the first author, I will write the article, but the other Dwi Bagus, Yilin, and also Sarah will do a literature review and also the coding labeling. And last week we discussed about how to do coding labeling and also how to do literature review. And also we made schedule about the deadline, and the next week will be the deadline of coding and labeling, and also the literature review. And after that deadline, we will discuss about the structure of the content, and then I will write the article. And after we finish the content analysis and also the structure, we should agree what is the structure of the article, what we should talk about that. So we had arranged a meeting last week. And I think I request you as my last author, because we need a direction about this topic. So maybe in the next 2 days, I will ask you to, I will propose the draft of the content analysis, and then asking about the direction of this article. Is it the right direction or not? But right now we had a discussion about this article.
Excellent, Putu. And the last part, was that related to Article 32 on privacy protection?
Oh yeah. About this, I think I will ask 1 hour ago, I discussed about privacy protection with Eric and also related to VODAN, and we have a concern about data because the agreement of VODAN Africa is about following GDPR and also respected to the privacy, data privacy in every African country. So I discussed about this to Eric, and Eric said in next week he will ask me to discuss with the expert about about creating a questionnaire to African member countries about what kind of data protection that they have. I mean, like the data the Data Protection Act, because we cannot create a security. I mean, like one system cannot cover all of the data protection. So maybe we should make a questionnaire about that. And the second concern is about the data impact, data security impact, consultation. So we will Eric will notice about these things to you and Professor Francisca.
Okay, but on this point then, we need to make sure that it is not the same as the fair equivalency tool, which we already have, but Eric doesn't know. So maybe you and Mariam should introduce the fair equivalency tool to him, because already that part we do automatically in VODAN Africa. And then the next level of agreements, we have also already a procedure for that. So yeah, I think you should add Francesca to this, certainly Francesca, and I don't know if there are others who should be added to this. You can definitely also add me, but that the difference between fair equivalency and Article 32, we need to be clear. Also, I have a question at this point, but maybe we can address it later. I would like to hear from Bit, where in his view the work that he is doing on certification would fit. But let me first give the floor to some others, then I allow you to chew on this, and then we can get back to this. But to be continued, Putu, you followed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then who can I give the floor next? Maybe Kuda Kwashi?
Thank you, Professor. I'm working on the fair equivalence tool, which we presented last week.
Yes.
Then I'm intending to complete that one by end of this week. Yes. Then I'm also working on should be number 33 on the e-health preparedness of Zimbabwe and the usability of FAIR in our context in data integration, so that I'm intending to be through with this one by mid next week. Then also there is a third one which I can't pick. It's numbered what? It should be number 11. Yeah. Right. That one we are working with Dr. Mlingwa. Then we're intending to complete that by end of next week.
That is excellent.
Sorry, may I add at this point, I see that for the article number 11, there is no abstract CUDA. So,
okay.
So if you could upload it, and then we can give the feedback based on that. So that
I will do that
from your side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alia.
And Kuda, also to note, but you can take your own decision in that. But there also is an article, I think already pretty far, uploaded from Gertjan van Stam from also Zimbabwe perspective, which you perhaps want to also look at, but you are not at all obliged to do that. So I just wanted to mention it to you. I think Stanislas Bigirimana is also from Zimbabwe. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew this.
Right. I'm interested. I think I'll talk to them and join them.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Kuda. Then who next? Perhaps Misha, I can give you the floor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sure.
Well, my article is going all right. I was going to have a meeting with Mia Stockmans to go over our next steps, but that was cancelled because she wasn't feeling well. We are going well ahead with the structure and the restructuring of what I already have, and some parts we feel are missing to add. So specifically about different kinds of implementation that are required within society. So my article specifically looks at implementation in the public sphere, but then there's also implementation in the social and in the academic spheres, which I don't speak about, but we feel we need to mention it more and may put that more into a more prevalent spot. So we are trying to restructure everything I have, because I already have a lot, and find what's missing to make a stronger argument, and then focus down on that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Misha. Then,
sorry.
Alia, you yourself, eh?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would like to ask from Misha. So I see that number 25 article, there is no abstract. So if you could upload your abstract to the Google Doc, yes. So that would be great. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But you did have you did receive the review, didn't you, Misha?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then Alia, your own.
Okay, yeah. So actually, I'm also working on my article, which is number 12, yeah, fair adoption potential for digital healthcare in Kazakhstan. So I'm working on my computer locally. So I hope that I can upload it by the end of this week. So yeah, that's it.
Good, excellent. Are you only doing one, Alia?
Yes.
Oh, have you never done the fair equivalency? Don't you want to do that?
Well, sounds good.
Maybe you could do that. I think it would be useful, wouldn't it?
All right. Yeah. Okay.
So then you can add that and put in the abstract. Excellent. Then who else? I'm trying to capture as much as I can. What about Professor Francesca? Prof, maybe you have not looked at it at all because you've been so busy.
Yes, Prof. Actually, the ones I'm involved in have been discussed, apart from the overall the launching an international fair data network, which we're waiting for the other articles before we can put that together. But the fair equivalency with regulatory framework in Uganda, which includes Miriam Basaja, she's actually the lead author. I'm going to be working with her over the weekend to make sure that we have the final of the first draft ready. And then there is the curricular development, which involves Sekinat, Ezekiel and I, we made a presentation as part of the symposium last week. So I'll get in touch with Dr. Sakinat too, and Aliyah was unavailable last week, but to make sure that we finalize and get everything ready before next week. Getu is still unavailable, but we have been in the team for the curriculum. We've been doing his work, so it won't be a problem. We won't take him off the authorship because we know that definitely he has done the work. It's just for us to put the documentation together. And additionally, generally, I've been working with Dr. Sakinat on how to reach out to the authors. This one now, it's not specifically for my article, but all the authors, especially those within our network, to make sure that we help them to speed up the process of completing the articles so the first draft can be submitted before the deadline. I actually had a discussion with her earlier today on the same subject, and that was where the idea to do a one-on-one analysis of each of the articles during this webinar. That was when we took that decision. So from the summaries of the discussions today and the presentation by the different authors and the members of each writing team, we'll reach out to them to help them take it further, to make sure that everyone, as much as possible, will be able to get their submissions ready by the deadline for the first draft.
That is just so excellent. That is really good. Then I think we should just, I noticed that Kibroom is not here, who is our link to the team in Mekelle. Maybe Aliyah or Putu, can you make an extra effort to communicate to him that he has this in his weekly assignments every week? Because we were at the beginning, we were kind of doing it a little bit ad hoc, but I think it will be better if he can try to attend these seminars every week. Then he can also be the link to anything that we agree in relation to Getu and the Mekelle team.
Sure.
Then, yeah, would you do that?
Yeah.
Then also, would you mind going back to Wandimu and ask him on the update on his articles, just so that we know that he is on still on schedule? I think that would be good. And then, so that is, now I'm talking specifically on the issues related to the special issues. So now I'm speaking to Aliyah and Misha on asking the update of Mondimu, and also perhaps look at some of the articles, like article number 4. I think that one, the one on the VODAN in a box, I think that one is being done. But it would be better if we knew that this was going ahead. So perhaps we can discuss a few of these articles where you can check with the authors whether they are on track and when they are planning to put this up. Is that okay, Aliyah and Misha?
Yeah, sure.
And then I see that Golden is there. Golden, is Golden still there? I saw that he was there.
I'm here, Prof.
Golden, can you just introduce yourself as part of the Zimbabwe team? Because as we are moving towards the next phase of implementation in Ethiopia and Zimbabwe and Uganda as 3 focus countries on larger scale implementation, whereas the other countries will remain as innovators countries, where we really look at the testing of the solutions. Golden, you'll be playing a role to support Kuda in coordinating the team there. And I think it will just be good for people to hear a little bit about you. And if you want to put on the camera so that people can also see you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Like you have said, I'm based in Zimbabwe. I work closely with Kuda, and I'm a journalist. I work with Great Zimbabwe University also as the director of Campus Radio. and I'm quite much involved in terms of helping in gathering of information in relation to this project, and I'm working with CUDA. Thank you.
Thank you. And perhaps, Golden, we can have a discussion, but we can have it offline from here on the work for the special issue that would also involve the Africa Implementation Network and the Implementation Network ambassadors. And Professor Mawira, he is involved together with the VC of KIU as the leads on the implementation networks. So we are expecting them to also be contributing to the special issue. So now that we're getting a bit organized, we can also have that discussion, and then you could perhaps also help follow that up.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think I'll be available for that.
Wonderful, excellent. Well, very nice to have the Zimbabwe team on board so well. I'm so happy to hear that also Mulingwa is contributing to the articles. That all looks excellent. So then let me hand over to Bet for the question that I asked in relation to the certification and whether we should also include it in a special issue. Bet, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I will say a few words about it. In the first special issue, we had already written an article on the certifications. It is not a bad idea, I think, to say a few more words about it in one of the articles. What we're doing at this moment is that there are a lot of organizations asking us for either endorsement or a certification, just to check if, let's say, the structure, the infrastructure that they have chosen is according to the FAIR principles. So we've been asked to look at organizations in our network, at FAIR data points, at data management plans, FAIR tool sets, all kinds of things. I think here in this project, we want to focus on really the FAIR data points. So, you know, once you have 5 or 6 of these FAIR data points installed, it's maybe not such a problem because everybody know each other and we all trust each other. But once this may grow to, let's say, about 100 or so of these FAIR data points, then it's more difficult. And you want to be absolutely sure that you can trust everybody into that network, also new players and newcomers. So I've been working with Luis, we all know him, to see if we can have an algorithm built that could automatically verify the adherence to these principles, so that we know that the FAIR data point has been set up according to certain rules and is intact. So that is something that we're working on. Yes, that could possibly fit very nicely into an article.
Excellent, that's good to hear, Bet. And so I think we should definitely be happy to have an article. So maybe if you want, you could do an abstract and then we can integrate that and review it with the authors that you think should be there. I also think that I'm wondering if this is not very close to that work that Putu is doing on the access and controls, and whether we shouldn't consider having Putu and maybe one of the team of maybe the Nigerian team to also help with that, and perhaps even in terms of reflecting on the algorithm, so that we could even test that. It is part of our project on the FMO. I think it's with GoFair. So why not consider including from the start some of our data stewards to be part of the development? Maybe you want to reflect on that, Bet, and maybe you want to discuss it with Luis, but I think we're happy to provide you with extra support.
Yeah, I would like to discuss it also, and I would like to see that maybe one of the team could lead the effort. I mean, I'm not a scientific person per se myself, so I would probably need someone to help us to guide in terms of, you know, how do you write such an article, how do you publish it, all these type of things. Oops, sorry. So I will. I would be glad that somebody could guide us, and then I could make sure that at least we get some interesting content into it.
Yeah, and then also for the work ahead that relates to that article, it would be good if that was the same person. But maybe we can ask the Nigeria team from IBUL whether they would be interested in that. But let me discuss this with Professor Francesca and Sakinat, and get back to you if that's okay, Bet.
Yeah, that is an excellent idea.
Super, wonderful.
Thanks.
Well, we are right on the clock. Is there anybody who has any issue? I don't know, Lynn, anybody else who'd like to say anything in relation to what we have discussed here? No? Yes? No? If not, then I'd like to thank everybody for their presence. Thank you, Ali. I'm handing over to you. Also, Putu again for preparation. Also, Aliyah and Misha for driving this process of the special issue. Very excited that I'm expecting many articles at the end of this week even, and I'll definitely make time to begin the reading of that as well, and the feedback. So it would be very, very excellent to get that on the Google, in the Google folder. Thanks for all the feedback, and handing over to you, Aliyah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. I wish you a great week and see you next week at the same time. And we will be waiting for the updates on the articles. Please, if you have any questions regarding any article, you can reach me or Misha. So thank you and see you next time.
Thank you, Aliyah. Bye-bye, everyone.